Hi, I'm Sophia.
Hi, I'm Liz.
Hi, I'm Anina.
And hi, I'm Jen, and we built the Empire State Building.
The two main purposes of a lighthouse are to serve as a navigational aid and to warn boats of dangerous areas. It's like a traffic sign of the sea.
Offshore lighthouses are lighthouses that aren't connected or close to any large landmass. By the mid-1850s, there were 331 lighthouses in the United States. There were still many places to build lighthouses, namely in the middle of the ocean. Since doing construction in the middle of the ocean was often hazardous, offshore lighthouses started out as light boats, permanently docked and lighted ships in the ocean. Light ships, however, were not the best solution as they were expensive to operate and required an entire ship crew instead of just one or two people. Eventually, as science advanced, technology eventually allowed for an easier way to build offshore lighthouses. Offshore lighthouses are needed to alert sailors of where they are in the ocean. Shore lighthouses are essentially the same thing as an offshore lighthouse, a tall structure with a light on top. The difference between offshore and shore lighthouses is that shore lighthouses are attached to land. Shore lighthouses are needed to alert sailors of when they are approaching a landmass and what landmass they're approaching.
The major components of a lighthouse are the lantern room, the portion of the tower that encloses the lens. It's often a metal and glass room on top of the tower, made of brick, metal, wood, or something else. The lantern has three parts. The service room, which is for the clock works or the rotating optics, fuel tanks and vents. The optics section, which is the area surrounded by glass windows, called storm panes, which contains the optic or lens, which is the light, and the dome, which is made of metal and copper. Another major component is the gallery, which is the balconies surrounding the lantern room, and the tower, which is the structure beneath the lantern room.
There are 6 different types of lighthouse designs. One is round, pyramidal, skeletal, conical, square, and schoolhouse. The round ones are round in construction and usually made of brick and surrounded by steel for protection. These are typically painted. Pyramidal ones are wood or steel and in the shape of a pyramid, like those in Egypt. And they're not used as much, but they are frequent in Canada. The skeletal ones have a steel skeleton framework to support the light, and it has little wind resistance and a solid framework. Conical ones are similar to the round ones. The lighthouse gets narrower as it gets to the top, and the keepers pass through the small entrance before climbing up, and this entrance can be connected or separate from the building altogether. The square ones are a tower built into a house and square in design. Some have places for 2 keepers' families to live. The schoolhouse is similar to an old schoolhouse in shape, and it's usually all brick built into the keeper's house. There are only some of those that are made out of wood. Even though that all of these are different, they all are for the same purpose, and that is to guide boats in the ocean so that they don't get into a dangerous situation.
What engineering skills are required for this project? Design and planning. Measurement, dimensions, and material had to be decided before construction could begin. Knowledge of the use of power tools. The use of many different power tools was necessary for the construction of the lighthouse. Electrical wiring. The type of lighting fixture to be used and the holes for the wires to run through needed to be included in the design. Wiring needed to be easily removed. Delegation of tasks. We needed to divide the tasks amongst group members to be sure that everybody would be able to work on something at the same time. A group of people you work well with. It's important to be surrounded by others who you work well with and want to get the job done.
The history of a lighthouse. Lighthouses are constructed at important points on a coastline, at entrances to harbors and estuaries, on rocky ledges or reefs, on islands, and even in the water. Lighthouses help identify a ship's location, warn ships of potential hazards, and notify them that land is near. Lighthouses differ from smaller beacons in that lighthouses include living quarters for a lighthouse keeper.
In doing this project, I enjoyed it because we got to work as a team, and I believe that this project should be continued because it was definitely a fun one and interesting to see how each person can interpret something in doing it.
Overall, building the lighthouse was a great experience. My favorite part about it was that we got to build a New York-based structure.
My favorite part about building this project was that we all had a really good time with it, and we just all got along so well that it kind of worked easy with everyone and we got things done.
I also got to learn a lot about power tools and power tool safety, so that was great too. Overall, I'm glad that we had this experience.
Yeah.
I think I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Alright, say something.
I'm giving up. Offshore lighthouse. A tall structure with a light on top.
Metal, a glass. Oh. Start over. Oh my god.